Guys, it's Dawn Robles, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in the Phoenix metro area. Thank you guys for joining me today. I have a super fun fold card for you. Took me a minute to make it today, but I want to share with you because it is so cute. My girls kind of gasped when they walked in my office and seen it today, so I knew it's a winner. Anyway, our new mini catalog and celebration is going on, and when I first received the mini catalog, I was so excited to see the stamp set, the Taco Fiesta stamp set. Oh my God, I was like in heaven, and it was like seriously the first thing on my order. So, and today is actually the first day that I've got to play with it, so I'm going to share how to make this card with you. It's got a lot of neat little puns in there and just all kinds of fun things to create. Now, when I was creating my card today, I wanted a super bright card, and I really don't have a lot of DSP. I know I need to order some, but I just don't have a lot of DSP. So I took, on this one here, I took a piece of Pumpkin Pie, Parakeet Party, Daffodil Delight. I cut them into 1/4-inch strips, and then I stamped them, actually, with these little candies. I just stamped down there, and I created my own little stripe on there. And then when my daughter walked in, she kind of raised her eyebrow and her lip at me, and I thought, okay, so maybe that one's not a winner, but I still wanted something bright, so I went ahead and went with the Melon Mambo and just the Parakeet Party from the Designer Series paper in colors. So tell me which one you like, because my heart still kind of goes to this one. I really like the brightness, but my kids all chose this one. So we're making this one, but in the comments, please share with me which one you like. The stripes, or just the Designer Series paper. Okay, so let me open it. So it has a belly band, keeping it closed because there's a lot going on in there. So I'm going to remove the belly band, put that right here, open it up, and then if I was opening it correctly, this would pop down and it would actually turn into kind of like, it's got like the cube cards we did last year, and I actually created a piñata to dangle from the inside of the cube. I know he's so cute. I love him. So, and actually the mustache and the eyes, there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5 different faces in this stamp set that you can put on these characters. So I was having fun playing with that. Okay, so anyway, I want to show you how to do that, and I am going to share one technique with you today, and that is when this spins around inside, I didn't want it just blank, so I'm going to show you how to create a mirror image. Now, your mirror image is not going to be as clean as your stamped image. Just the black is much richer, you know, when you're doing it than when you try to mirror it, but it still gives you the effect that you're looking for. So I'm going to share with you how to make that. Let me go over a list of supplies. As I'm talking a lot, I'm so sorry. I'm going to set these out of my way. And I did a lot of the pre-work already, so you didn't have to sit through all of that. So I am going to use a piece of Tahitian Tide, right? That's what it is called. Yeah, Tahitian Tide, and this is going to be cut at, listen, 8 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I did take 1/4 inch off of that. Okay, and then to create, let's see if I can move this in here a little bit. To create the bottom cube here, you're going to need a piece of that is cut at 2 1/2 by 10 1/2. To create the top cube, see if we can get that in here. To create this top cube here, you're going to need a piece that is cut at 1 1/2 by 6 1/2. And then for the The layers inside the card, you're going to need 4 pieces of cardstock that is measured 1 1/4 by 5 3/8. You'll need 4 of those pieces. For the Designer Series paper, I used 3/4 by 5 3/8 to layer that. And then for this middle section here, I used a piece of cardstock that is 2 5/8 by 5 3/8. And then I cut another piece of white, basic white cardstock, and that piece is cut at be 2 1/2 by 3. Okay, now I thought that this was a little plain, so I went ahead and took my 4 pieces of this and I embossed it with the brick and mortar embossing folder. I'm the daughter of a bricklayer. I better use some bricks in my card making, right? Okay, so the first thing I did, like I said, I did a lot of the pre-work for you, so we're going to go ahead and I'll show you how to score it. Set this all aside here, and then I'll bring in our scoreboard. We'll do that real quick. On your 8 1/4 inch side, you're going to score at 1 3/8, 2 3/4, 5 1/2, and 6 7/8. So this is our card base. Then we're going to bring in our cube. Again, this piece is 2 1/2 by 10 1/2, and we're going to score it at 2 1/2, 5, 7 1/2, and 10. And then we're going to bring in our little cube that is 1 1/2 by 6 1/2, and we're going to score that at 1 1/2, at 3, 4 1/2, and 6. Okay. Oh, and I forgot to tell you the layers as well. So for your card base, you're going to fold in, and then this score line you'll fold back. Same thing, we're going to fold this side in, and then fold this one back. Okay, so when you close your card, it comes together right now. Now when you put all the stuff in there, there's a tiny little gap, but it didn't really bother me. So, and then all I did from this point forward was add my layers. So all your layers will be added here, which I already did. So let me set this one aside here. So like I said, I did some embossing on mine, and then I just layered my Parakeet Party, and then I'm going to go ahead and put this in. Let me just use some liquid glue real quick. It's at my fingertips. Put that in there like so. Okay, so we got that middle piece in, and then we can go ahead and stamp our sentiment here, which I just put Spectacular using the Tahitian Tide. Let me bring my little mat in. I'm going to come down and stamp that. And I hope I didn't come down too far. And then I'm going to bring in the sombrero. And I'm going to just kind of angle that right over the S and stamp that. Is that super cute? Did anybody ever have a sombrero? I admit I had a sombrero. My grandpa went home to Mexico to visit his mom, and he brought me back a sombrero when I was, I don't know, probably 7 or 8 years old. It was this really pretty electric blue, and it had silver on it, and to be honest with you, I don't know what happened with it, but it was a pretty hat. Did I wear it? No. So right here, I'm just going to color this in using the light Daffodil Delight, and then the light Parakeet Party, and I'm just using my bullet end. And you could use your regular markers too. It's just that my blends were right here at my fingertips because I did a lot of coloring today. And then I'm using the light Melon Mambo as well. I told you I wanted bright today. See, isn't that pretty? It just like elevates it a little bit, I guess. And then I'm just going to attach that to the inside of my card base. And we don't have to make this piece go all the way down because our cube is going to cover the bottom section. That's why I cut it. In fact, the lady I watched make this card, she did the same thing. She said it wasn't necessary to take all that down, so did it like that. So we are right there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and bring in, let's do our 1-inch cube first. So I forgot to tell you about these little layers here. So I'm going to burnish, fold and burnish them, and then I'm going to put layers on. So I have square layers that are cut at 1 3/8. So the Melon Mambo piece is going to be 1 3/8 squared, and then I just used a piece of basic white cut at 1 1/4 by 1 1/4. You need 4 pieces of this one, okay? And then I did go ahead and emboss this with the brick embossing folder as well. And then we're just going to fold and burnish on our score lines. Wow, it's late. It's like after 7 and the jets are still flying tonight. And then on our little glue tab, I do recommend using a good tear and tape. You can use your liquid glue adhesive as well. That will hold it nice, nice and tight as well. Okay, and then we'll just go ahead and glue our panels. So this I'm going to want to be at the top. When I put my panel together, I'm going to want that to be at the top. So I will want to add a panel to here, here, and then on the inside, I want it on the back piece and to show on the bottom piece as well. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I really wish I could figure out how to speed up, like, you know, when I'm gluing, how I could speed up the videos, but still haven't figured it out, guys. So, I wonder if you guys got your catalogs. What are your favorite sets in there? Like I said, this one was one of my favorites, and the other one was the motorcycle. I love that. Like if you've watched any of my previous videos, you know that I grew up with a dad that loved to restore old cars. When I was younger, he used to restore old cars, and then he always had a Harley growing up. He always had a Harley, and now my brother rides as well. So I was like super excited coming up with ideas for that. Okay, so all I did was put my panels on. Now I'm going to take my backing off my tear and tape. I'm going to fold that down and join those up, making sure that you're even. Okay, and then just press that one down. Okay, and you've got your panel made. You can add your embellishments if you want, or you can wait. In fact, I think we'll go ahead and add our embellishments. So I went ahead and cut the taco, and I made the chili pepper as well. So, and if you can see the taco, his little eye is winking at you. So cute. This was $1 million set from Erica Serwin, and she hit it out of the park. It's just absolutely wonderful stamp set. So I'm just gonna do that. So one cube is done. Now my second cube here, same thing, let's burnish and then we'll have to do a little die cutting. We'll have to die cut that window out. And again, this 1/2 inch is going to be your glue tab, so I'm just going to go ahead and add my tear and tape here. Okay, and again, I want this panel to be hidden, so it will be up like this, so it'll actually be my roof. Okay, so I'm going to put a panel here, but before I do that, I need to put my hole in for my string to dangle. This is going to be my opening, so I'm going to draw a circle so I know to cut that out, and then I will put a panel here and a panel here. And these panels, you just need 3 of these, and these are cut at 2 3/8. So the Melon Mambo piece is cut at 2 3/8 squared, and then your DSP, your designer series paper, is cut at 2 1/4 squared. And this DSP, like I said, I didn't have a lot of playful DSP, and this one actually comes from a flower set we have, and I don't have it out, so you know what, I will tell you what it is in the comments below, because I don't remember the name of it, but I love the paper. Sorry about that. So yeah, again, we're going to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and glue the panels where I can. Okay, there's panel 1. Panel 2. And if you're running a directional pattern, make sure that you follow that while you're placing your mats down. Okay. So on this side, I need to find the center so I can put a hole in there for my piñata to dangle from. So all I'm doing is I'm going from this corner to this corner down here, which is about 3 1/2. So I'm going to go ahead and mark out 1 3/4 because that is the center point. And then I'll just measure from this side to that side to make sure I'm where I need to be. And yeah, my hole is right there. Okay, so right there is where I'm going to, watch this, watch this. I'm going to take my pokey end of my take your pick tool. I'm just going to move my finger when the pokey tool comes through the paper, and then just kind of put that down. That way I can get my string through. Okay, so we got that. And then I need to cut a circle on this panel so we can look through. So I'm going to bring in my little guy over here, which I don't usually like to die cut in here, but I'm going to do that for you guys today. Bring in my plate and my bottom cutting plate there. And then I am using the circle die that is 2 1/8 from cutting edge to cutting edge, okay? And I'm just going to line that up evenly in that square. Try and get a nice even. It's hard to do when you're doing it sideways, but we'll go with whatever comes out, right? And then I'm just going to roll that through. Maybe, maybe not. Well, what the heck is going on here? There we go. Just don't have a good grip on that yet. Okay, whew, that was some work. Peel this off, save my circle. I always use those for lots of different things, so you can save that, set that aside. So now you've created your opening for your window. Now what I did is I went ahead and created a frame to go around that window. Two reasons, to be honest with you. I don't know where my glue, there it is. Loud, sorry. So 2 reasons. One really is because this is a big window and it's kind of weak when you go to bend it, so I wanted to reinforce it. If you want to really reinforce it, you could put another frame on the inside and it would make it even stronger so it doesn't bend as easy, because it does bend a little bit, but and all I did was I took a bead of glue around my frame, and I'm going to put my frame on there. Now, if you don't know how to make these frames, I don't know if you do or not, so I used my 2 1/8, what I used my circle frame for, and then I used the size 1 up from that, depending on the thickness that you want of your frame. I want 1 circle up, and then I nested those together and ran it through my die cutting machine, and it created my frame for me. Okay, so now we've got that ready. We can't put our top plate on until we run our piñata through, as I throw everything on the floor. So I already made my piñatas, but I want to show you quickly. I just want to give you this tip on how I do that. So first thing I'll do, I'll bring in my piñata. Let me turn my paper the other way here. Move this out of the way. Bring in my little tiny foam mat. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and stamp him the right way just so you can see what I'm talking about. So when I bring them together, if I stamped both of them this way when I wanted them back, you know, back to back, it wouldn't work. So I had to create a mirror image so I could glue them together like so. So to do that, I'm bringing in a piece of window sheet. I'm telling you, I can probably keep Stampin' Up! In business just purchasing window sheets, because we all know how I love my window sheets. But all I did was I cut down a little piece of window sheet here, and I'm going to stamp my image, make sure I'm nice and inked up, and I'm going to stamp my image right on the window sheet. Okay, after I smear all the black ink on my jeans here. I'm just going to go ahead and stamp that, and be careful because it will slip and slide. There's a few times today I had to start over because I did move my stamp. Okay, so now you can see that the image, well, can you see that? Yeah, the image is on my window sheet. All I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that over and I'm going to lay that down on my paper. Again, try not to wiggle it around, and then I'm just going to press down. And hopefully it transfers. And like I said, it's not gonna, the image is not gonna be as crisp as the original one, but it will allow you so you can do. And there you go, voila. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I love that little tip, okay? So I'll set that aside now. Bring in my thing, and all I did was I used baker's twine. You could use whatever, like, ribbon you want. I used that. I wonder if I shouldn't use, nah, I'm going to use the thinner one. Probably should use the thicker one, but I'm not going to. Now, here's another quick tip. These little floss threaders, can you see that? Floss threaders, they are awesome for pulling strings through tiny places. And I learned that when my daughters had braces. So I'm just going to glue the two images together now. Just going to line it up. Like so. And that way I have a double-sided image. Okay, and then I am taking a teeny tiny punch that I had just picked this up at Hobby Lobby, I think. It's very, very tiny. And I'm going to put a hole kind of in this area. I originally put one right here, and then he hung like really crazy. So I'm going to try, I think I kind of put the second one I did like right around here, and he hung a little more evenly. Okay, so I went ahead and put my hole in, and then I'm going to double my thread, or my baker's twine, I'm sorry. I'm getting my ribbon scissors. Just cut me a piece off, and I'm going to put it through my little floss threader. And just run it through my piñata. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And then I'm going to tie my knot. You can tie that any way you want. This was just the easiest way for me. And then I'm going to bring in, make sure I'm going the right way here. I put this back through the threader because I'm not that good at getting that through a little hole, like so. And then I will just bring that up. Oh, maybe I'll do it again. Let me do it again. Okay. Okay, there we go. Let me set that over there. I don't like to lose those. And then when I'm deciding how long the string needs to be, you just kind of have to play with it. So when I close up my, in fact, he's through, so I can go ahead and close this up so we can kind of gauge where we need to be. Again, it's the same way, just fold it over on itself, but make sure you're lined up square. And then we can adjust our piñata where she needs to go, which is hard to show on camera. I'm very sorry. And then you can take a piece of tape or tear and tape. I have Scotch tape right here. And then I'm just going to tape that in place. Put a tape right over it so it doesn't move. And she's in a good spot right there. And I like where it is, so I'm going to go ahead and remove the excess string. Now, our mat will cover this up, so you don't have to worry about that. Oh my God, this video is going way too long. I'm so sorry. I'm going to bring in my mat. Stop talking so much, huh? Okay. Place that right there on my cube. Okay, now I'm going to bring my card base back in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this back piece right here to my card base. So I'm going to fold it up. You'll notice this one's going to be blank because this is your bottom. And I'm going to put glue here. Now you can put tear and tape or liquid glue, but do not just use a regular tape runner because this does have a lot of use on it. And I am using liquid glue because I want a little wiggle room. So I'm going to flip this around so I can see better. Okay. And then I'm going to line this up with the bottom of my card, centering it between this bottom panel there. Make sure you're at the bottom of the card, that way when it opens, it stands. Okay, give it a good press. And we'll push that back down. You see our little piñata in there? And we'll go ahead and set that up. Sits perfectly, which I know you can't see, but I can. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing with this cube, only we're going to glue the bottom and the back, but we will glue the bottom first. So I'm going to fold it. So this is going to be the bottom, and then I'm going to attach it. Oh, hold on, let me see. I think I messed up here. Like so, right? Yeah, okay. So I'm going to fold this piece down where the opening is coming towards me. And fold the chili pepper towards me. Add my glue. Okay. And then it's easier if you set this up and get it, so you get it all the way back against the very back of your card. See if you can see that. You want it all the way flush with the card. And if you use tear and tape, it sticks, you know, but with the liquid glue, I have to give it a minute to set. And then I'm going to add glue to the back panel. Okay. And then I'm just simply going to push that up into place, attaching it to the back of the card there. Take my fingers in there and give it a good press. And ta-da! It's all made. And there's your piñata. Now we have to dress up this guy because I cannot do anything without adding my little cactus man. So I'm just going to add a cactus right to the bottom. When you add this cactus, make sure that his arm is on the inside of the cube. That way when it folds in, it doesn't get caught up in the score, the crease. So, and all I did, you can use a glue dot here. I'm just going to take a little liquid glue. And attach it there. Let it dry for a minute. Isn't that so cute? I love this set so much. Okay, so basically our card is, the inside of our card's done. So all you have to do, you'll have to fold this a couple of times. It'll get a little easier. So you just kind of fold that in place. And then you just fold your card together. And like I said, there is like a tiny gap because there's so much on the inside, but that's okay. And I got ink all over this, so we're just going to flip it this way. Works for me. We're just going to make a belly band real quick. So I'm going to line it a little bit over the seam, and I'm simply, on this one, let's turn it over this way so we don't get the black showing. And I'm just going to wrap it around. You want it snug but not super tight, and you want it to line up. And then I'll just snip some excess off here. And this, I definitely recommend using tear and tape to hold this belly band together. So I'm going to add a piece of tear and tape right here and a piece of tear and tape right there. So you can. This is so thick that I did not like really burnish my score lines. I just, where it was folded, I just kind of gave it a little extra. So bring in my tear and tape right here. Like so. Take this backing off. Nice. Okay, bring my card back in. See, I didn't, where I got a little crease on his arm because I didn't put it in quite where it should have been. I'll go back in and take that off with the scissors. Okay, and then just line up your belly band. Okay, there, like I said, you want to be able to move it, but you don't want it to fall apart. So then I just took the, what do you call this? Scallop circle in the layering circles, and then I cut that same opening, that 2 1/8 inch circle, and I ran it through the embossing. Folder, and then I'll just adhere those two together. Like so. And then I will bring in this, give me a piece of scrap here. So this piece here is cut at 5/8 and just however long, it was just a scrap. And I'm going to stamp Holy Guacamole, it's your birthday. And before I do that, let me just do this. I'm going to do a pointed end there. Okay. Holy guacamole, it's your birthday. Bring that in. Kind of line that up a little bit. It's going to overhang a little bit. So I'm going to line that up to go about right there. And then this side I'm just going to trim like so. And then I'm going to glue that straight down. Okay, glue that down, and then I colored in and cut 3 little chips. Oh, I didn't color the bowl. So to color my bowl, I'm going to use Melon Mambo. Where is my dark Melon Mambo? It's light red, dark red. What did I do with it? I don't know. Oh well, we'll just, I bet that's the one I dropped and it went flying somewhere. Okay, anyway, we're just going to use a solid color then. So I'll just take my Melon Mambo here and color this in real quick. And this is the light Melon Mambo. Okay. And then I had the face, and this little guy has his mouth open. Stamp that on the bowl here. So he's got his mouth open, and then I'll pop him up on a dimensional. Okay, I'm just going to set him like right around there so I know where I want to put my chips. I'm just going to put a little glue on the bottom. Erase that. Let's move this one down a little bit. And this one to the side. Can you tell I made a few of these today? That was a fun card. Okay. Put my little guacamole bowl down. And then I'll bring in some of our glossy dots. And give me my pick tool. If you guys do not have these pick tools, I highly recommend it. I think it's one of the most used things in my craft room. Put colorful dots on here. Okay, and then I'm going to add it to my belly band. I'm just going to take a little score tape because this is, run it right across my belly band. Add it right there. And there you go. So I know that took a little bit longer, but it is such a fun card. Let me know if you try it and tell me which design you like better. Little stripes or plain DSP. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Go out there, have a great week, and I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye for now.